Yes, thank you. Some history. We are back to 95, and Ukraine has asked for membership of the Council of Europe. And at that time, there was a lot of young democracies in Eastern Europe that asked for the same. And I was then one of those who should write opinion about what I thought about accession of Ukraine. Oksana asked me yesterday, why didn't you write about medium freedom in the commitments? Because what we did was to see is there something special that Ukraine have to do within 3 years, and this was called the commitments. And it's true, because it's not only commitments. That was a new invention that Council of Europe had started, because we got so many new countries who, for instance, had no constitution or had big problems, special problems. You had, by the way, in Ukraine, no constitution when we started in the Council of Europe. So therefore, every country got a special list of commitments. And this was undertaken by the country voluntarily, and it should be overcome within 3 years. But I want to underline that such a list is not just something where you can say, this is done, this is done, this is done, and then everything is fine. For instance, the whole idea of being a democracy is that you also have obligations, and that, I think, is worth to stress. All countries in all Europe, being member of Council of Europe, have obligations of being a democracy with human right protection and rule of law. And in that obligation, not special commitments for the special state, but obligation for everybody, lays also that you have to have media pluralism. That's why, for instance, the Council of Europe, together with European Parliament and especially with OSCE, are working very hard during the election process. Election observation is not only about the election day and how the ballot are put into the ballot boxes and things like that. It is also to watch what is going on during the whole election period. Is there pluralism? I remember in 1999 that OSCE had watched on television and main radio station and could simply show how there was only pro-Kuchma reportage in the news, and if there was something about other parties, it was negative or neutral. And it seems that in that way the picture of pluralism was not there, and that was why I said in a press conference as one of the election observer that in fact Ukraine didn't fulfill the right to freely elect, because that is an obligation that we all have in all countries and not only in Ukraine. So I would say that it's not about just commitments that you put in a list and then you do all these things. During the year 2000, where Ukraine, where we were very worried about the situation, the Gongadze case came up, and this was, this was an eye-opener for the Council of Europe how it could be really a problem with journalists that felt insecure and that this fear was something that the press was afraid of, and therefore we saw a media picture during the 2000-2004, where if you looked in the television, the various program, and even me who cannot unfortunately speak Ukrainian, I could see how all the programs had the same content and the same way of seeing things. That was called temniki. So it was not really censorship, but it was if you don't do this, then we have tax inspection, we have fire inspection, we have sanitary inspection, and we can also put some of you in prison, or there can be some bandit in the street who do something. So therefore, media pluralism became a very important thing when we talked about Ukraine in the Council of Europe. And therefore also everybody was very pleased when the Orange Revolution suddenly made a picture that was much more in different color, that the media now had different owners with different viewpoints. But I must admit, after these 5 years, that perhaps it was a fragile situation, because the pluralism was because there was different owners with different views. But today you can see only after 1 year where the power seems to have been really concentrated, then there is a lot of self-censorship in order to take away this pluralistic picture. And therefore, it is very important that we continue to discuss what was one of the commitments of Ukraine, namely to have public media broadcasting, to have independent channels is very important, because that can they can make independent of owners on one or other hand. They can independent of that make journalism, investigative journalism, for instance, that can criticize those in power independently, so that other journalists can see that there is a standard that they have to meet, and it can be an example of journalism. Therefore, it is very important, and it's a pity that now I have been following and have met lawmakers during all these years, and everybody agrees that naturally we should have this broadcast, public broadcast, but nothing really has happened. In Moldova, there was a similar case where they formed a so-called public broadcast, but that was only that the state channel was called the public channel. And I know that there are also people who think that if you take the state channel here in Ukraine and call it public broadcasting, then you have fulfilled everything. But it's very important to remind you that it should be in a real public broadcast. The society should be the owner, and it should be financed in some way by the society, and it should itself controls its program policy, and it should work on behalf of the whole society, and there should be a independent editorial status. So it's not another word for a state channel. It is something else, and I think it's very important that this will happen in your country. And I would say that I hope that we in this roundtable today can have some opinion about what we do in practical way, because there are many ways to make this, and I think we should have those who are journalists and those who are lawmakers to come together in order to see what to do. Then I also think it's important to have a discussion. In every country, there should be, if you are a European country, access to information. This is very important because access to information is the source. That is your way for the public to know what is going on. And I understand that right now you have a big discussion about this law in context with the law on protection on data, and I am aware that it can be a delicate discussion where is the limit, but I think that it would be very, very bad if access for information is totally spoiled because there's another legislation, and I hope that we also will have a in detail discussion about this dilemma. So all in all, I would say that Council of Europe is not writing about media freedom because of the Council of Europe, but Ukraine itself has wanted to be a European democracy, and therefore Ukraine has taken upon her both commitments but also the main obligations of being a pluralistic society with a free press. And I can also see from the development in many countries in Europe that a real precondition for a good development of the country is that there are transparency in a country. I remember in the first years of Ukraine, but also today, we see that privatization without transparency means that someone in their pocket can get a lot of money, and you have to have this transparency, and who shall provide you with that transparency if you don't have investigative journalism? This is very important. So this was my initial remarks, and still I look forward to hear what is to be said today here. Thank you.